think.
Me too.
Oh shoot! Whoops. Hello.
We forgot how to do it.
I know. Welcome to Accidental Nonsense. My name's Dave,
I'm Kristen.
and this is episode 26. I'm typing in the episode right now in the thing so I remember, and I'm just gonna put a little squiggy.
26.
26.
Feels
The
like we
last
should
one was
have more now.
well, we've taken long hiatuses for quite some time. Well, the last one was back in October, and now it's December. So
It was our holiday.
it was our live stream with our Uncle Bobby. So
We needed some time.
we needed some time to we got canceled for about a month, so now we're able to be back on. Elon Musk let us back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, what's going on?
Doesn't own podcasts.
I don't know what he owns these days. Do you know?
I know he.
How about Brittney Griner? She's still in jail in Russia.
She is. She got what, 9 years?
9 years, and they moved her to a penile colony.
What?
What's it called? How do you pronounce it? I don't know how to pronounce it. Penal colony. What I say? That's what I said.
Penile.
What's the difference? You think she's gonna serve the whole 9 years, or you think she's just gonna be there?
First, we need to tell people what legitimately she was sent to a penal colony.
Yeah, they moved her to a penal colony. No, that's what they said. Russia informed them that.
It's a term used to describe the prison in Russia, where inmates are housed in barracks and engage in menial labor for symbolic pay.
So it's like forced labor.
Yeah, but isn't that
Well, I hope she comes back. I hope she comes back. I'm sure she will.
Well, I hope so too. I don't know if she'll serve her whole sentence. I guess we'll see.
Biden won't let us down. He'll bring her home for sure.
I hope he brings his student debt relief home too.
Well, that's a lot of like judges shutting stuff down too, apparently. So, anyways, that's besides the point. What have you been up to?
You're looking at it. And what you looking at?
I was just wondering what you've been up to.
I've been my eye on people.
What does that mean?
First, for some reason, I don't know what it is. I've been really suspicious lately. Like, this guy walks up. So I'm in the living room, windows out front. This guy walks up. He looks like he's working for a company or something, but he walks straight through our front yard. He walks straight through, right next to the close walk the front door. And obviously, like, I've got 2 dogs at him because he's all defensive and stuff. Starts barking at him. He keeps walking, and I was like, that's suspicious, because in my mind I was like, he was gonna see open. He was gonna try and like rob us. This is what's going on in my head.
You don't have guns. You don't have guns.
I just have kitchen knives or hammers.
Kitchen knives are good.
To the bathroom window to see where he's going on the house. I look out, and he had closed the gate to our neighbor's fence that led to the door in their garage. Turns out, I called my mom because I was like, hey, this seems sketchy. And she was like, well, it's probably just like a electrical dude checking the numbers on the meter outside or something. Meter. And I was like, well, 1, why is he just traipsing through our yard? And then 2, where's his truck? I didn't see a truck anywhere. It seemed, in my mind, I'm like, that'd be a nice little disguise if you want to try and see if people's houses are open. You just pretend like you're an electrical man.
Yeah, I'm just here checking the meter. Don't worry about me.
Yeah, right? So that was my thought. I almost called. Second one was yesterday or the day before. I'm leaving I'm about to leave the house. Well, I are pulling out of the driveway, and I closing the garage, and I pull out. There's a car at a stop sign behind me, so I'm like, I have time. I'll pull. And then I start going, and they drive up. They keep driving. They're behind me. I take a right. I'm leaving the. They follow, same thing. But then all of a sudden, they pull in the driveway, and then I was like, huh. My eye on them. They pull out and turn around. They just saw me leave the house. They're gonna try and rob the house.
Oh, 100%.
Whatever, but I've got my dogs at home. Like, I don't want anything bad happening to them.
Home alone
anyway,
situation.
I was like, well, for them, I guess. I was like, that's sketchy. What are they up to? They just saw me leave, and they saw there's no other cars around. They saw that I closed the garage. It's only a one-car garage, so there couldn't be anyone else home unless they were just home without a car. Anyways, I follow around the block, and then I don't see them, so I keep going, and then I see them, and they pass me, and they turn down my street to where the house is. So I do another loop around, and I'm like, that's really sketchy. And I do another loop around, and then I see them as I'm looping around, they end up driving past out, like they're going out the development, and I was like, okay, all right. And so I do the loop around. They had left. I'm about to leave the development. They pull back into the development.
Oh, they forgot their car keys.
So anyways, at that point, I was like, I'm in the car, like this old couple. I was like, all right, maybe they're not planning to rob anybody.
Yeah, they just don't know where they're going.
Looping around. I think they were, but I had to be sure. So I was suspicious, and I kept following.
You safe.
Yeah, well,
I sometimes do that with if I'm driving home and the same car's been following me for a while, right? I normally just keep on driving. I don't go to my house. I just keep on driving until that car leaves me.
I take a random turns,
pull into like someone else's driveway that's not even yours, and pretend it's your house, so they rob that house instead. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, that's what I do.
So that's just what you've been up to for the past month.
I mean, those are just two things.
That's it.
I've also I have some cool news. So me and a friend of mine, her name is Stephanie Ressler. She used to be a counselor, and oh, you frozen.
You're frozen. We're back.
I'm a coach, and me and her have teamed up. If you're listening and you know, I'm also a personal trainer, but we teamed up to teach a kind of like a health and wellness boundaries setting webinar for the holiday. We're almost on our part 3 out of 3. So we've had 2 sessions so far, and it's been really nice. We've had some nice discussions basically about what boundaries are.
Well, that's cool.
When it comes kind of like mind, body, spirit type of thing. So like boundaries with family, time, eating, exercise, all those things. And specifically during the holidays, how that can be difficult.
Right. Am I blurry?
You're blurry, but it's all right. We don't need to.
I tried to fix it. We are actually live. I don't know why I didn't click on live, but we're live for episode 26. All right.
We'll roll with it.
So we'll roll with it. It probably works out better though, because it tunes better. I don't know. So
tunes.
Yeah. So
so
Christmas time.
Different things. Christmas is coming up.
What do you want for Christmas?
Oh, money.
Money. You heard it here, folks. Put your Cash App in the thing, and we'll send you money. Kristen will send you money.
No, I want the money. I don't want to send anybody money.
Never mind. She wants the money. She's not sending the money. Yeah, I've just been doing kettles.
Yeah, kettles. You work with the Salvation.
I do. It's terrible. No, it's fine. It's fine. I do have a funny story though. It makes
the season really busy.
It just makes the season really busy. It just takes a lot of time. But I will say, I do have a funny story though. If anybody doesn't know what kettles are. It's the fundraising campaign for the Salvation Army, where we put out basically, to simplify, we just put out red buckets outside stores, and there's people outside ringing
to this.
But you want to put what music into it?
Bell ringing, like a bell. You got a jingle bell.
Oh, I don't got a jingle bell here. I got this. So there's that.
I didn't hear it.
You heard that? How do I turn it off? Could you hear that though? No. You gonna hear it?
No.
Oh, everybody else did. Anyways, I got a fun story there. So basically, that's what it is. So people go out and they can volunteer. A lot of times, people get paid to help us as well. But people go out. I have a funny story though. This was a long time ago. I can't even remember who it was or where it was. But took somebody out. They rang the bell for us, and then at the end of the day, they were asking, "So when do we get the bucket?" And I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "When do we get the bucket that we made?" And the person thought that they were ringing the bell and they got to keep whatever they raised in the bucket. The person standing out there. Yeah. When in reality, the money obviously goes to the Salvation Army to help cover Christmas costs that we have, overhead, many things throughout the year for social services, etc. And this person thought that he was going out there for the 6 hours or so, and he was going to keep whatever money that came into the bucket.
Was this when you dropped him, or like after you picked him up? When did he realize that wasn't the case?
Well, this was at the end of the day, and so he asked on the ride back to I was going to drop him off at his house, I think, at that time. So yeah, so that was interesting because that is not what happens. So that's the furthest away from. I mean, it really wouldn't be a fundraiser at that point. It would just be I don't know, what would you call that? A pyramid scheme. It's a pyramid scheme.
I mean, it would be a fundraiser for him.
It would be a fundraiser. I mean, he probably worked hard. They'd probably work harder if you were raising for that. So for sure.
Like, oh snap! I mean, I would work harder. Well, it's sad.
That's fun. So
work just as hard for people, but
right. So that's just the busyness of the season and whatnot. And actually, I have somebody. It's been okay here for now, but I have somebody. He's picking up the kettles tonight, so I can be here doing this. So
nice.
But to be fair, I gave him a couple nights off as well, so it's kind of a tit for tat situation,
Tit for tat. Where'd that sink?
It's a tit for tat. Google it right now. Where did tit for tat come from? That saying. But yeah, so we're in the busy season, fundraising. It's busy. Got a lot to handle. Volunteers, bell ringers, workers. Christmas toy distribution, the whole thing. So it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, I'm taking the whole month of December off.
Yeah, you should. You deserve it. Every 5 years you should get just the whole December off.
You should get a cushy job in the Salvation Army where you don't have to do kettles.
Yeah.
5 years.
Maybe what? Territorial commander?
They would never. I need it. We need it. But yeah. So what's happening?
Who? Okay. So first records of the phrase tit for tat comes from the mid 1500s. The first recorded uses of it are by English playwright John. It's thought to be a variant of the earlier phrase tip for tap, in which both mean a slow, as in a hit or a punch. So it's like a hit for a hit.
Oh, so it's like I'll hit you, you hit me.
Yeah, an eye for an eye.
An eye for an eye. So it's basically like an eye for an eye. Or like, what do they say? Pie for a pie.
Who says pie for pie?
I don't know. What's happening in the news? You said you wanted to talk about something in this podcast. You said there was something interesting. What's happening in China? You escaped. So Kristen escaped right in the nick of time. They started rioting, burning down cities in China, killing each other. Like literally, it's citizens versus the government. They're pitchforking it.
That didn't happen.
Right? Okay, well, what actually happened?
I kind of escaped lockdown, but not really. I left halfway through their Shanghai's really strict lockdown. I had planned to leave at that date, and it just so happened they went in lockdown a month before I left.
Okay.
Long story short, there's a city in western China in Xinjiang. It's I think it's the capital, Urumqi. And so all across China, there's been lockdowns and people have been needing to quarantine, and it's all to keep their zero COVID policy that they have, where they want any COVID cases, zero tolerance.
You get COVID, you die, right? They kill you.
Well, no, they just send you somewhere to quarantine. This is where it is scary, though, because so like me, when I was locked in my apartment, I was able to go out into my alley, and it wasn't the case for everybody. I literally had the gates for me to be able to get out and leave my little lane where my apartment was. It was like bike locked, like it was literally locked. So I believe there was my community that had the key, but like they weren't in your key, and at least 10 people died because the firemen couldn't get to the apartment. I read it took them like 3 hours. They couldn't reach because of all the cars that were in the way because of the lockdown. So because they've put up all these barricades to keep people from leaving their homes, and then I think people were actually locked in the building. They couldn't get out. So it was really terrible what happened. I read some people died, so I'm not sure. Everywhere else I read, it says about 10. Either way, it's really tragic. So that was kind of straw almost that sparked a nationwide
protest
outcry all across China. It's the first time since the 1980s that it like to this scale. So people protesting, they don't want to test. Like during the protest, people are saying they don't want to test. COVID restrictions. They don't want to live like this anymore. They were holding vigils for the people that died in some places, like in Shanghai. So the protests that happened in Shanghai were literally in the street from where my apartment is. And so people are calling for the president to step down, Xi Jinping, the Chinese president, to step down. Dangerous because I mean any protests aren't really put up with there, and you can't and here you can't really question leadership right there. There can be really harsh repercussions for that. So yeah,
define harsh.
Well, it could be you either get an amount of time or potentially you just don't get seen again. But I did read there were some people who were detained and then let go later. I'm not sure about everybody. But there's a lot of social media people who are in China, Chinese citizens, like Chinese social media accounts to kind of share what's happening there. And a lot of them were sharing pictures of the people as they were getting detained, just so that we know their faces and that we know that they were actually taken. And yeah, so it's intense. I kind of calmed down, but they've also cracked down a ton on the protests, like a heavy presence in the areas that protests took place. But they are seeing a reaction on some of the policies in certain cities, which is interesting. So who knows if it'll be long. They probably won't do it. I mean, it would be surprising if they did it nationwide right now, just because like they're giving in to the protesters. So who knows what will come.
They don't want to look weak.
Right.
Right. So it's just crazy. But I mean, you did dodge a bullet though, because
A little
you
bit.
never know. You never know. You escaped right in
Feels
time.
weird though. Like, it's kind of silly to say. If I didn't have my dogs, I don't know if I would care that much because I wouldn't really feel like, I mean, you never know what could happen. I wouldn't feel personally like I would be in danger of anything. I mean, lockdowns are terrible. Like, lockdowns there. The amount of like just how mentally draining it is and how it like messes
Right.
with you, especially when you think you should be getting out and then you don't. It's a lot. So like those sides, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I can get through it. But yeah, it's nice waking up and not having to worry about if you're going to be taken to quarantine or having to test or
Right.
not even having to, but
Yeah,
being.
because now you're free. And can you believe there's people in the United States that want the United States to be like that? You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
it's so funny because I've had people tell me like, oh, I wish the U.S. seriously. And in 2020, like I agree. 2020, that whole year, like we didn't know what was happening. It's this new thing.
Nobody knew. Nobody knew.
People
Yeah.
were dying. Like I was really happy with how China, with their policies they took in 2020 and even 2021. But like as
Right.
the variant has, it's just the policies need to change with it. So I would tell these,
Right.
they're like, oh, I wish they take it serious here. And it's like, I'm like, okay, sure, but you can't do that. Problem they're facing is you can't keep
Right.
up with this forever. Either people are going to be tired or you literally have to lock people in their apartments for months on end. So
And
I
that's
was
just
like, you
not long
don't want
term sustainable. Yeah.
getting more problems because of that.
And now you're back here and you get to have a great Christmas in a couple weeks.
And
So
now we're going to have Christmas together.
and now we're gonna have Christmas together. And speaking of
And it seems
Christmas,
like we're going to be the only
and
ones sitting there around the tree.
well, that's fine because I think as long as I'm there, it's okay. Christmas in China is going to be terrible, is what we're saying, getting at, because I heard that Kim Jong Un in China doesn't want anybody to celebrate Christmas. So
That's North Korea.
who's the president? Oh my, my fault. Ching Chang Ping,
Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping. Whatever, he's locking people down. He doesn't want them to celebrate Christmas. He's a real life Grinch. That's really what it comes down to. But also, it also wasn't good in the United States today, though, because U.S. soccer lost. But they made a good run. But I don't know why I'm announcing that. They did. They lost to Netherlands.
Netherlands.
The Netherlands. Yeah.
Those
The
Dutch.
They got them. But moving on, what's your favorite? Because I think the next couple podcasts, we'll do a couple in December where we focus on Christmas stuff. What's your favorite Christmas memory?
My favorite. You know what we should do? We'll have to read through different Christmas traditions around the world, like Krampus and stuff.
Oh, Krampus is a good one. That's a good one. Wait, Krampus. Good.
My favorite memory? I think just going down. We would all go down to South Carolina at our grandparents' house in South Carolina.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I think before that they were in New York City for a little bit. It was always fun going to New York City for Christmas.
That's true.
That was a good one. But my favorite Christmas so far has been, I don't know if you were there. I don't think you were. But we went to mom and dad's when they lived up in Painesville, Ohio. And we were basically snowed in for a week because it snowed so much.
I don't think I was there.
We went sledding, all stuff. I think that was when you first you were for your first year in China or whatever, and you didn't come back or something. I can't remember. But
I came back that first year.
Maybe it was the second year. I don't know, but yeah. So that was my favorite memory. I don't know why. I think it was just because just all the snow, and it was just relaxing. A hard season, you go up there, there's all the snow. We went sledding, we went all this stuff. We had a good time. So
it would kind of be nice to say everybody came here and then there was a big blizzard and everybody
we're just stuck in.
Literally couldn't go to work. So then it's like, what do? It's like you can just sit and enjoy your time. No rush to get back.
Yeah, you didn't have to go back. It's like, hey, I'm snowed in. I can't go back.
You literally can't drive, or you could skid off the road and die.
The only issue with like COVID in the States kind of like fizzling out, really, because it really is. It's like if you have COVID, you just have to wear a mask and you can kind of be out and about if you don't have a fever, right?
It's just,
but like
it's like nobody pays attention to it.
But like you can't even like, it's like Christmas, it's like December 29th and your vacation's coming to an end after Christmas, you're with family. You can't even like call up and be like, hey, I got COVID, I tested positive. I'm not going to be able to make it into work. It's like, well, do you have a fever? You get a doctor's note. They do all this stuff. They don't just trust you.
They'd just be like, oh, work.
Put a mask on and get to work. What's your favorite Christmas tradition? Like what's one thing every year that you like doing for Christmas?
I don't know if I do it. As a kid, I loved the little advent calendars, and our mom would write clues to where candy is hidden, and you'd have to go.
we do that here. I carried that on.
Like hit Jesus in the nativity or something, and
yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, I think we still do that.
Christmas,
and we started up the elf thing too. So
everybody's doing that now. The elf on the shelf.
You got to be careful. They'll get into mischief.
Yeah, and I always Christmas Eve we would always do the little finger foods on Christmas Eve. I still do that.
Yeah, we still do that too. Yep. So that's always fun. And I never used to New Year's Eve. I think we usually just had like whatever, but we started last year, which I really liked, and we're probably going to keep doing it. Is Chinese food. We ordered Chinese food for New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
so
I would do that.
So I like doing that.
Do that for Christmas and New Year's. Really, I did that in China last year, but I got American Chinese food. So Chinese food tastes a lot different than like the American Chinese buffets and stuff. But there was a place in Shanghai, and his restaurant was Chinese food, so it tasted like it would back here. So that was kind of fun. I got the American Chinese food in China.
So not the American Chinese food in China. That's I do think one year though we need to do Christmas like somewhere like Colorado or somewhere like that. But this year we're doing Christmas in Ohio, so it's going to be a good time. And I think next episode, I'm going to tell you now here, I didn't text you yet, but I was going to. Our next episode we're due, because we did like those little like fun draft things where we go back and forth. Our next episode,
peeps.
I was going to say Christmas movies. We go back and forth and
Christmas, like The Grinch, Santa, Krampus. Yeah. We could have a list of all those. We'll do both.
We'll do both. It'll be fun. Maybe I can even get a guest on, hopefully, and they could do it too. We'll have a 3-person thing.
Yeah,
but yeah, if you Krampus is actually interesting. We'll talk about that on another episode, because that could be a whole episode we talk about Krampus. Krampus, where like he basically, if he's a bad kid, he comes in, he gets the kid, throws him in his knapsack, takes him off.
Did you see the movie Krampus?
No, I didn't see the movie Krampus.
It was actually a pretty good movie. Made me not as scared of Krampus. The movie did.
As you should be.
As maybe I should be. Yeah.
Yeah, it is terrifying. Look at this guy. You see this?
Yeah, he's pretty creepy. He is basically a Christmas devil.
He's the Christmas devil. That's terrifying. That's
that would be
terrifying.
A great Halloween costume.
It would be.
Put
all right.
In a little.
You could put like a kid in the back, and you dress like Krampus. You have like your your switch. What do they call it? Little like, what's he have? He has like a little. It's not a whip, is it? It's like a little. A what?
No, that's the German one.
The German one, but that's where Krampus originated from, right?
I don't know.
We'll talk about it at another episode. We'll figure it out. Let's do a Would You Rather before we wrap things up for this episode, all right? All right, here's one. Would you rather be at home on Christmas and get lots of presents, or go to Disneyland for Christmas but not get any presents?
Wait, repeat it?
Would you rather be at home for Christmas and get lots of presents, or go to Disneyland for Christmas but not get any presents?
Stay at home and get lots of presents.
Yeah, same. That's a silly one. That's really dumb. I'm just reading through it. Sorry, people. It's really stupid.
I could just return them and have money to go to Disneyland later.
Yeah,
if
right.
I wanted to.
Would you rather have something that's like peppermint or something that's like chocolate?
It's a tough one. Can I
That is
do
a tough
mixed?
one.
Probably chocolate, because
I
I
was gonna
do
say
peppermint, but I like peppermint in peppermint hot chocolate and
right.
peppermint
See,
mocha.
I like the they do a mix of like a peppermint well they call them candy cane Hershey Kisses, but they're basically peppermint Hershey Kisses,
Oh, yeah.
which they're amazing.
Those are white chocolate, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, here's a question. I don't know. Do you do ham, or some people do like what, turkey? Do they do turkey on Christmas Day? What's the
For Christmas?
Christmas Day? Yeah, what's the
Yeah,
Christmas Day dinner?
probably. I don't do any
Ham,
of
right?
those. On
You don't
Christmas
do
Day,
ham?
no.
What?
Do you?
Where have you been? Every Christmas Day since you've been gone, we've been having ham on Christmas Day.
When? Did you ever do it before?
Forever. I don't know. No, we've never done it before.
Kids.
No, we started the tradition while you were gone. We're like, we're going to start having Christmas ham on Christmas Day. So that's something new this year. So get ready for it.
I would always get Chinese food on Christmas Day. Never get ham.
Oh no, that's a New Year's Eve thing now. So now we do Christmas ham.
Or whatever. Yeah, well.
Talk to mom about it. We're having Christmas ham.
Oh,
We'll do a live podcast about Christmas ham.
Fine, we'll have some ham.
We're gonna have Christmas ham. You know, because we've never seen Christmas with the Cranks. She's trying to get her ham.
Understand that people eat ham on Christmas. We know.
We have the last since you've been locked down with Kim Jong-un.
Xi Jinping.
We need to have a relationship podcast at some point.
About what?
Your relationship or my relationship. We have a marriage podcast, how marriages work and how they don't work. We should. You'd have a lot to speak into that.
They don't.
I do have a really good Christmas gift this year for you. It's fun. You're gonna enjoy it, and Catherine already knows, and she's gonna.
That better not be the name you drew for Secret Santa, because I'm. Gifts then.
Oh yeah,
this should be like this one.
No. You're not. It's all separate. I'm getting, because we're gonna be together, so I'm getting people gifts who are gonna be at mom's house in Ohio. So I'm getting everybody gifts who's gonna be there, and then so this
now
is
you're
all separate. Catherine told me. What?
Up showing everyone.
I'm up showing everyone.
Up gifting.
Upstage. I also sent baby Ezra a gift. So.
Well, I got her a gift. I got all the nieces and nephews a gift, but I gave it to them. So they're
already.
Something on Christmas.
Well, we'll see. Anyways, I got a fun thing for you. Catherine wants me to record you when you open it. She wants to see how big it gets. So that's it. Would you rather have a real Christmas tree or a fake one? This is the last one.
Real.
Really?
Yeah.
I like the smell it makes in their house, but you have to water it, and it doesn't come pre-lit.
So the only thing I don't like about the real ones is when you go to decorate them and put the lights on, you can't get the fur ones that are like really soft because they can't hold anything on them. So like if you get the pokey ones, your arms are all scratched up. Are you advertising right now?
Oh, sorry.
You think
No, that's true. And you get pine needles all over the floor.
I don't know if Starbucks will sponsor us now because I just shared about their sugar cookie drink. I like it. They put a post on it, and people were like, "This is nasty. It tastes like dog."
Well, that's everybody has their own opinion, right, Elon?
Right. I like the real ones though. You like the fake ones?
Yeah. I do like the fake ones just because it's more convenient. But I like the tradition, and I really miss it. We did it like a few times when we were in Ohio all together before we all separated and went our own ways, where we went out and got a real Christmas tree, right? And then chopped it down, loaded it up. That's the tradition of doing that is a lot of fun, and that's what I enjoy. So
I like going out and chopping it down, and then it's fun. And then you don't have this big tree you have to store because at the end of the year you can just burn it.
Right. You could just set it on fire.
Yeah.
And then boom. Cool. Well, write in the comments what you want. All right. We're going to wrap episode 26 up. We'll be back here very shortly. in the next couple days with episode 27. We're going to talk about Christmas movies, do a Christmas movie draft, and then just Christmas. We could do Christmas character draft.
Christmas
and whoever has the best. Yeah, whoever has the best. So episode 26 is in the books. Anything else to add?
No. Maybe we should do a count.
Oh, shoot.
There's so much.
I forgot to hit record.
No, it's recording.
Gotcha! Merry Christmas. Santa's going to be coming right down that chimney. Hot dog. Let's go. That would have been hilarious. But yeah, so there's a lot we can do with Christmas and things like that. So maybe we'll do a countdown and have podcasts more frequently here in December if I can make it work. So anyways, adios, everybody. Have a good one.